Tell people that you're not praying your namaz, what's going to happen to you in the akhirat? In one riwayat it says, a person who is particular about their salat, when they will be placed in the grave, the ambience in the grave for all of us, when we will be woken up made to sit up by the angels, it will be like it is just before Maghrib namaz. Not quite dark, not quite light as well. Just getting dark. So in one riwayat it says that a person who was paband of namaz all his life or all her life, when Munkar Nakir will come to that person and sit them up and ask, Man Rabbuk, the person will look up and they'll see the ambience and they will say to the angels, hang on. I've not prayed my Asr namaz, let me pray my Asr namaz. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the angels will turn to each other and say, there's your answer. Jawab mil gaya. We know that this person is successful. A person who's died, come 6 foot under, has still not forgotten their namaz. What can we question them? But how will that happen? When we will be steadfast on our deen, not hit and miss, not as we choose, but regular with our deens, regularly striving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we will be able to stay steadfast on our deen. Then we will be able to pray our 5 times namaz, pray our Quran every day, pray our durood and zikr every day, go to our ulama, benefit from our ulama, from our elders, and come to the house of Allah. We will be able to do that if we are making an effort on our iman every day. This is why we are told to go out in the path of Allah. The Christmas holidays are coming up. We should not be thinking of, oh yeah, I'll give 2 days, 3 days. No, we're men. Or we're supposed to be men. 10 days in the path of Allah. This country, alhamdulillah, has seen for the past 40, 50 years, it's got a beautiful history in this country. Youngsters go out in the path of Allah, spend good 10 days. After that, they automatically go for weekend jamaz. January, February, March, April, May, June. Come July, automatically they come with their bedding for 40 days. Nobody has to kill them. And when they spend 40 days, they come back and then they are spending their 3 days. Automatically, a few years later, when they finish their studies, they go for 4 months. And they come up on deen. And not just traditional deen, not just customary deen, but actual deen in their lives you can see. So we need to bring that deen in our lives. We need to stop messing around with our deen, with our tabligh, with our madrasas, with our ulama kiram. Laughable, not laughable. Makes you cry. I went to one masjid recently. Our Jamaat was there. A Maulana came and he said on there something like 56 Sirat Dars. 56 Sirat Dars. And massive locality. There were 8 people sitting in that Hadith Dars. 8 people. And all of them were in the Jamaat. Not a single local was sitting there. I felt so bad for Maulana. Not only did I feel bad, but I also felt scared for us. Hum ulama ki aisi tauhin kare? How long, ask the ulama kiram, how long does it take to prepare a 15-minute dars? Maulana sahab, Juma ka bayan kar lena, masjid Juma ka bayan kar lena. Koi aasan kaam hai? Chalte chalte kya, bas chalo tamam aaj ai week thai jaye. Koi aasan kaam hai? It's so difficult to prepare a dars. And this dars, Maulana sahab delivered the dars for over an hour. And I spoke to him afterwards. He said, yeah, I've been doing it, alhamdulillah. This was the 56th one. And no one, not a single local was sitting there. In namaz, there were about 4 safs. And it wasn't as if it was a boring. If it was boring, even then it's not excusable. If it was a boring talk, there's no such thing as a Deeni boring talk. If it's boring, it means you're boring. Like I started at the beginning. It means that you are not plugged in. Your heart is not in it. Isn't it? So even if it was boring in inverted commas, that still doesn't excuse us not sitting. क्या हो गया मुसलमान इतने सारे मुसलमान और लोग क्या कहते हैं माए बहनें घर पे सुनती है मैं जानता हूँ कितना सुनती है हम जानते हैं उलमा किराम से पूछो कितना सुनती है इल्ला माशाल्लाह वो बेचारी जो खाला बहुत ही थकी हो वो सुनती है लेकिन वो एक हाथ में पंसूरा है और नींद के झोंके भी है और सुभान अल्लाह कहती है सुनती है इल्ला माशाल्लाह वे में कि ना गिलाए जफाए वफा नुमा कि हरम को अहले हरम से है किसी बुत कदे में बयां करो तो कहे सनम भी हरी हरी the treachery of the Muslims towards Deen and Islam. Allama Iqbal Rahmatullah said, if I went into a temple and I expressed it, if I related it to the idols, the lifeless idols would even cry out in desperation. The Muslims doing this with their Deen. Look at our masjid, such a beautiful masjid. And yet even 1% of our community does not come here. It's a reality. So we need to stop messing around with tabligh, with madrasas, with our ulama, with our deen. And we need to man up and step up. There shouldn't be any 3 days, 2 days, 10 days, all of us. Go out in the path of Allah. So brothers, make your intentions. Come on. 10 days, who's ready? I'll put my name down first. 10 days, inshallah. Come, brother.